McDonald's is firing. And in fact, yes, you heard that right. McDonald's is going to be doing layoffs this week. It's pretty scary times. And, I grew up in Oregon, and McDonald's is sort of one of those companies that if you need a job, just get a job at McDonald's, right? They always have that permanent hiring sign. And if remember, like during the pandemic, you were getting these things like, work at McDonald's, we'll give you a bus pass, we'll pay you $22 an hour. Even like this again, Oregon. We'll even hire 14 and 15-year-olds, right? Because there's a labor shortage. And so this has sort of been, in my mind, the company that just literally always hires, and this idea that they're in fact firing is a bit troubling. This is the headlines, though. McDonald's temporarily shuts U.S. offices at chain, prepares for layoff notices. So this is at the corporate level, and basically what they're doing is they're kind of afraid to tell people in person. I know I'm laughing, but it seems kind of mean. Basically, they're saying, don't come in the office. We're going to be doing some layoffs, and I guess they want to do it virtually. They don't want to do it in person. So this will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're telling people to cancel all of their meetings, these kind of things. And I think some people don't know, and they're going to find out this weekend. And I think this is really scary. I want to go over some of the details. And this also reminds me too that, another stalwart company like Disney is also firing, right? 7,000 people. So it's starting to hit our major companies. Like, these aren't tech companies, right? These are like our major companies that employ a lot of people. Some of the details, we'll go through it together. This is about talking about McDonald's, and I want to get your guys' thoughts as we go through this. Chicago-based food chain said in an internal email last week, U.S. employees and some international staff, so it's going to be U.S. and international, that they should work from home Monday through Wednesday so it can deliver staffing decisions virtually. And that's, again, I don't think they want to tell you in person. They want you to stay home. I think that's kind of mean, but I understand their point of view. I don't know. The company in the message asked employees to cancel all in-person meetings with vendors and outside parties at its headquarters. And this is a quote: during the week of April 3rd, we'll communicate key decisions related to roles and staffing levels across the organization. And this is just breaking now. This is the CEO, Chief Executive Chris Pebzinski. So he's saying some jobs that are existing today are either going to get moved or those jobs may go away. In terms of their corporate, they currently have 150,000 people, and they're saying 70% of these are outside the USA, and I think that's their restaurants. So go over corporate roles and its own restaurants, with 70% of them located outside of the USA. So I'm not quite sure how to interpret that, if that means the restaurants outside the USA or the rules. That might be restaurants is how you would read that. And also, too, I was looking at this. They've been laying off, evidently, at the corporate level since, say, like 2018, and they want to be more dynamic, nimble, and competitive. And putting all of this stuff together, guys, because this is sort of why we cover multiple topics in this channel, it's not just about investing. It's not just about managing money. It's also managing your career, because you want money coming in. If you don't have any money coming in, it doesn't matter, how well you invest. And this is sort of like something that you want to be thinking about is, is your job secure? Now, my feeling on these things, we know what's happening with, say, Facebook or Google. Over at Google, they're reducing benefits. Over at Facebook, they've been saying, or I should call it Meta actually, but they've been saying, hey, we're going to be flattening. The basic idea is that you're going to be compressing some jobs, also like taking out sort of a middle manager. And also, too, something like Facebook, they're going to be taking out jobs that only manage people. Essentially, they want everyone to be a coder, just for example. So the McDonald's situation could be a similar thing to where, okay, we're reducing corporate roles. We kind of want to reduce redundant roles. Essentially, too, it's sort of my feeling on this is they're probably going to give people more work. They're probably going to do, because we've seen this around other companies. It's not just, just coming up with random stuff. I'm saying that this is what we've seen in other companies, and I think this is probably what's happening with McDonald's. Is they're like, okay, there was a time when we had 3 people do 3 different jobs, but why don't we maybe cut one department entirely and then take those 2 people and then, turn that into one position. So essentially, giving a person more work. Theoretically, in this day and age, maybe with AI and computers, a person can be more efficient, but I'm kind of thinking they're just dumping more work on people. And I put this out to you, the community, because I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on these things. If you feel like your work is just frankly giving you too much work. The other thing too, which I think is also happening, is the more experimental stuff. So the R&D kind of departments, like, for example, McDonald's or these kind of companies, if they had a metaverse kind of a department, because some of these companies, really did believe the metaverse thing was real, and they started hiring like tons of people for, metaverse. Hey, we're going to have avatars and everyone, and then started looking into that. And then right now, companies are going to be cutting those kind of things. There could be also two company firings in terms of possibly international things. Because I do know, right, for example, say the Russia situation. Now, I don't think Russia necessarily hurt McDonald's that much, because yes, it is a country, right, and they do have a lot of locations there, but I think probably China maybe hurt McDonald's more in terms of the bottom line, because they had a lot of shutdowns, although they are opening back up. Overall, though, I didn't see anything anywhere that it said that they're necessarily, slowing down or firing in terms of retail locations. It looks like this is just corporate. And this is something that we've been seeing, to where automation and sort of cuts and efficiency have been at the blue collar level, but now we're going to start to see it more at the white collar level. So I wanted to put this out to you because I want you guys to be prepared for these kind of things, and you want to be ahead of the game, right? If you're on the chopping block, just for example, I want you to be thinking, okay, who in my network can I be reaching out to the sea of opportunities? So I'll give you an example. If you're, let's say, we'll use good example. We'll use pharmaceuticals, right? And you work in, for example, you're working on cancer drugs or something of this nature, and you start calling around all your cancer drug friends. I'm just giving an example, and you say, hey, how's it going over there? I'm like, oh my God, we're cutting cancer budgets. How's it going there? Oh my God, we're cutting cancer budgets. And you start to get a sense of like, okay, I need to start looking at, arthritis, right? Something else. You want to look into something, other kind of thing. For example, I'm just giving an example. Or, you're a person that's, say, working in supply chain and shipping, and you're really good at, spreadsheets and calculations for, forecasting, those kind of things, and building models. So maybe shipping is slowing down, but you can use your skills, right? This is thing that you're going to be thinking about, your transferable skills, right? You're really good at forecasting, and put it into something else. Maybe you're not going to be doing supply chain and shipping models, but, maybe you can use that skills in like healthcare, right? Forecasting for insurance for, hospitals or these kind of things. I'm just giving you guys examples. The idea, though, what I want you to think about is you're not, skillless, you're not worthless. You can find another job, but you need to be active in that, both in, reaching out to your network to see what opportunities are out there, and also too thinking about what skills do you have that transfer to other industries or other companies that aren't hiring. Now, there could be a situation where, McDonald's is firing, but then maybe you want to stay in the restaurant business and run over to Chipotle, those kind of things. I mean, there's certainly going to be opportunities out there, but I do think it's going to get tougher, especially, like I said, Disney, McDonald's is firing, tech is slowing down as well, and you really need to protect yourself. And so this is sort of something I've mentioned to you guys all as well. During this, period where we're worrying about recession, I would definitely be cutting back on spending, because you just the world that we live right now, you're not guaranteed that the money's going to keep coming in. You just don't know. It's never, terrible to be cautious. It's never terrible to like say, hey, we're going to live under our budget, this week, kids. Hey, this month, kids, we're going to cancel that trip to Disney or whatever. Like, you just don't necessarily plan on the future being rosy. I mean, we've been seeing it in the banking, sector as well. They've been slowing down hiring, basically freezing and firing people. Like mortgage sector has been slowing as well. And so this sort of thing, I'm just putting this out for you guys. I just want you guys to be prepared. It's not about, oh my God, you're all, we're all going to lose our jobs and everything's going to zero. It's not like that. It's just, hey, be prepared, because companies are calling these kind of meetings. And, I totally understand, guys. If I was working at McDonald's right now and I'm like, have a job and I have a, rent due in Chicago or mortgage due in Chicago, and you're like, kind of wondering, and you're going to find out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's a pretty scary time. So I just want to put this news out for you guys. Love to hear your thoughts on this one. What do you think? Do you think this is something that's going to keep spreading? Have you heard any other news for these kind of layoffs? And do you agree or disagree with sort of my perception on the kind of jobs that will probably get cut? So again, I think it's going to be R&D, and then they're probably going to be combining jobs into new ones and probably giving people more work. That's my estimation of what's going to be happening. So good luck to everyone out there. Love to hear your thoughts on this one. And I'll catch you in the next video.